When lawbreakers find themselves in the clutches of the police, the majority resort to desperate attempts to escape or plead for freedom. However, a select few opt for an audacious choice, challenging the very authority that has them in custody. Today, we have 5 instances where criminals dare to confront the long arm of the law, with some unexpected turns and daring confrontations. Case number 1. In this intense confrontation, a man wielding 2 kitchen knives poses a serious threat to law enforcement officers as they attempt to apprehend him.
What I need you to do is put the knife down for me. What I need you to do is put the knife down for me.
The video captures a harrowing scene as a couple of police officers approach a room where the man is barricaded, holding 2 large kitchen knives. Locked from the outside, escape for the man seems impossible without direct confrontation with the officers. The officers, displaying commendable patience, repeatedly urge the man to drop the knives and surrender peacefully.
Okay, that's going to help me and help you to put those knives down.
Despite their calm and polite requests over a 5-minute period, the man remains uncooperative. As tensions escalate, one officer makes the decision to open the door, while another employs a taser to temporarily incapacitate the man, preventing him from retaliating. Simultaneously, additional officers move in to disarm him. The situation takes a perilous turn when the man, despite being shocked by the taser, continues to stab at the officers with the knives. The primary police officer demonstrates exceptional bravery in the face of the life-threatening assault. Soon, reinforcements arrive, showcasing remarkable teamwork and courage. Together, the officers manage to disarm the man and safely restrain him with handcuffs, bringing an end to this high-risk encounter.
All right, okay? You're okay? Dog is fine. Dog is absolutely fine.
Case number 2. 3 cops dealt with the man and his blades, but here's a driver who put a traffic police officer's life in jeopardy during a roadside confrontation in the dead of night. And there was no one else to help the officer.
What started out as a quiet night turned into a struggle for his life.
It was late one Wednesday night at 2 a.m. when a traffic police officer observed a red car speeding recklessly in an area where such behavior was uncommon. Intrigued and suspicious, the officer chose to tail the vehicle to investigate further. The driver's erratic behavior raised concerns, leading the officer to suspect possible intoxication or drug use. The car eventually came to a stop after navigating curbs in a disorderly manner.
At that point, I'm thinking DWI. With the speed he was going, the way he stopped.
Approaching the driver, the officer requested the license and insurance. Despite the provision of these documents, the officer's intuition hinted at potential intoxication. To confirm, a sobriety test was initiated to assess the driver's alcohol consumption. To the officer's astonishment, a knife was spotted in the driver's right pocket, escalating the seriousness of the situation.
So right here, I see the pocket knife, and I tell him to keep his hands up. You see him reach right for his pockets.
Opting for a thorough search, the officer was caught off guard when the driver suddenly attacked, vehemently shouting, "I don't want to go to jail," despite his actions leading him precisely there.
He says, "I don't want to go to jail, I don't want to go to jail," something along that lines.
Attempting to regain control, the officer found himself grappling with the assailant, who persistently sought to seize the officer's firearm, even when held in a headlock. After an intense struggle lasting 2 minutes and 30 seconds, the officer suddenly subdued the assailant, placing handcuffs on him and calling for backup. It was a challenging moment for the officer.
Right here is where he reached for my gun. I pushed his hand away with my left hand. I'm left-handed, so it's on the opposite side of the camera.
And the man, identified as 43-year-old Macarius Kirkwood, was ultimately taken into custody. Case number 3. Something similar but more horrific and unthinkable occurred when these officers attempted to maintain order during a routine traffic stop. On the evening of June 21, 2021, at precisely 10:30, vigilant traffic police officers initiated a pursuit of a vehicle that had disregarded a traffic stop sign at the signal. The front dashcam footage from the police vehicle revealed a scenario where officers instructed one of the female occupants to stay inside the car. Unfortunately, she responded with offensive language, defiantly ignoring the officer's directives. When the officer approached to calm her down, the driver exited the vehicle and issued a threatening statement saying, "I'm gonna knock you out, bro." Reacting to this, the officer attempted to arrest the driver for obstruction. but the driver managed to break free and flee.
All right, you're under arrest for obstruction. You're under arrest for obstruction. Get back. Okay, you're under arrest for obstruction.
The audio captured the officer chasing the driver around the car and away from the vehicles. Simultaneously, the two female occupants from the car pursued the officer in pursuit of the driver. Upon reaching the driver, the girls became involved, and as the officer tried to handcuff them, one of the girls attacked him. Both managed to break free, ultimately knocking the officer to the ground. As backup arrived, the video depicted one of the girls sitting on the officer's head, gripping his neck in an attempt to harm him, while the driver continuously kicked and punched him.
According to police, they punch, kick, and one of them puts that officer in a chokehold.
Backup officers intervened, assisting the fallen officer and ultimately apprehending the troublemakers. Subsequently, after a trial, the court charged them with attempted murder.
Their acts of emboldened defiance will be met with harsh consequences.
Case number 4. When talking about attempting murders, this man named Winston Tate didn't hesitate for a few seconds to brutally attack a female cop with a hammer.
You're learning more about the man accused of attacking a Middletown police officer.
A Middletown, Connecticut cop responded to a neighborhood complaint about a man smashing windows and glass with a hammer at 6:30 a.m. on Saturday. When the lady officer, named Carly Travis, arrived at the scene, she requested the man multiple times to put down the hammer. But the man instead rushed to charge at her with the same hammer.
Can you put that down, please? What? Can you put that down, please?
No! The man hit her on the shoulder and she was knocked to the ground. Despite the officer's attempt to reach for her firearm in self-defense, the man's movements were too rapid. He relentlessly landed 4 to 5 blows on the officer, yet she somehow managed to discharge a couple of rounds into the air. Although these shots only grazed the man's arm, they resulted in him bleeding, but it was enough to make him run inside the house. The courageous lady officer quickly called for backup, and fellow officers promptly apprehended the fleeing man. The man, identified as Tate, was later brought before a judge. His defense attorney disclosed that he was a former U.S. Army officer suffering from mental health issues.
While he was in court, he was extremely frustrated. Mark and Aaron, he's shaking his head, he's closing his eyes.
The police had encountered and investigated Tate on 4 occasions throughout the year due to his recurrent episodes of regressive and manic behavior. Case number 5. Tate was prisoned for his attack on a cop, but this man at a routine traffic stop was shot dead by the police when he attempted to strike an officer.
A Naperville police officer shoots and kills a man. Police say he charged at the officer with a hatchet.
On a sunny day at 11:30, a man parked his vehicle abruptly in front of a traffic policeman. The man sprang out with a hatchet in his hand and rushed straight to the officer with hostile intent. But the officer, in defense, fired several shots at him and he fell down instantly. Later on, the Naperville police identified the man as Edward Saman, a 28-year-old who couldn't survive the wounds and died in the hospital. However, the policeman was a 22-year-old veteran of the force who was luckily unharmed. The incident clearly demonstrates how it is deadly for you to attack cops.
Where are you, dude? Where are you?